So I welcome you all to this session on downlink control channels. So as we are already aware, the downlink control channels are carried over the physical downlink control channel, and it carries the control information from the MAC layer. Okay. So basically, there are three control informations in the downlink, which will be carried over a particular physical channel. So first one is downlink control information, and second one is control format indicator, and the third one is hybrid ARQ indicator. Okay. So each control information will be carried over a particular physical channel. The downlink control information is carried over the physical downlink control channel, and the control format indicator is carried over the physical control format indicator channel, and hybrid ARQ control information is carried over the physical hybrid ARQ indicator control channel. Stuck. Yes, this is what I'm talking about, the downlink control channels. So as I said, the downlink control channels are carried over the physical downlink control channel, right? And it contains control information from the MAC layer. So I said there are three control information. One is downlink control information. Second one is control format indicator. And the third one is hybrid ARQ indicator. Okay, each control information is mapped to particular physical channel. As I said, the downlink control information will be carried over physical downlink control channel, and the control format indicator information is carried over the physical control format indicator channel, and the hybrid ARQ indicator information is carried over the physical hybrid ARQ indicator channel. Okay. So it is one-to-one mapping. And this on the physical layer, the physical downlink control channel and the physical downlink shared channel are time multiplexed. Okay, so time multiplexer means it is similar to the TDM only. So the PDCCH means physical downlink control channel is carried over the first few OFDM symbols of each subframe. Okay. As I said, in LTE, there are 10 subframes in one frame, right? And the duration of one subframe is 1 millisecond. In each subframe, there are 2 time slots, right? And one time slot will have 7 OFDM symbols. So here, this PDCCH takes first few OFDM symbols of each subframe. Okay, and rest of the OFDM symbols will be taken by the PDSCH. Right? See, the number of OFDM symbols allocated for PDCCH can vary from 1 to 4. Okay, means the number of OFDM symbols allocated for physical downlink control channel can vary from 1 symbol to maximum 4 symbols, and that information will be conveyed by the control format indicator. So this control format indicator is carried over the physical control format indicator channel. Okay, and this channel is always carried in a predetermined format over the first OFDM symbol of each subframe. So every subframe first OFDM symbol will be the physical control format indicator channel. Because of this PCFICH is predetermined format that allows the user equipment to decode the CFI without any ambiguity. Okay. So that will determine the number of OFDM symbols in the beginning of each subframe that are used as the control region. Means how many OFDM symbols can be used for PD CCH and how many OFDM symbols can be used for PD SCH. Right? I said minimum is 1 and maximum is 4 OFDM symbols in each subframe will be used for carrying the downlink control information through PDCCH, right? And that will be indicated by the control format indicator, and it will use the first OFDM symbol in each subframe. And let us see what is the format of DCI. I think this I discussed while discussing about resource allocation in LTE. Okay, so there are a variety of formats, right? So this downlink control information format, means DCI, carries the downlink scheduling assignments, okay, uplink scheduling grants, and power control commands. Okay, so it carries these information: downlink scheduling assignment, uplink scheduling grants, power control commands, and other information necessary for the scheduled user equipments to decode and demodulate data symbols in the downlink or encode and modulate data symbols in the uplink. Okay, so this is what the DCI carries. Downlink control information carries information about what? Downlink scheduling assignment, uplink scheduling grants, power control commands, right? And other necessary information for the scheduled user equipments to decode and demodulate the data symbols in the downlink or encode and modulate data symbols in the uplink. Okay. So as I said, already I discussed what is the content of each format of this downlink control information while discussing resource allocation in LTE. Just I am here revising the different formats and what information each format carries. See, the downlink control information has totally, means LTE has totally 10 different formats, 10 DCI formats. That is format 0, then format 1, format 1A, format 1B, format 1C, format 1D, then format 2 and format 2A, then format 3 and format 3A. So means what information is carried over each format. So format 0 carries uplink scheduling assignment information. Format 0 carries the uplink scheduling assignment information. And formats 1, 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D carries, and even 2A and 2A carries downlink scheduling for one code word transmission without spatial multiplexing. Okay, the formats 1, 1A, 1B, 1C, and 1D carries the downlink scheduling for one code word transmission without spatial multiplexing. And the format 2 and 2A also carries downlink scheduling for user equipments configured in closed loop and open loop spatial multiplexing. Yeah, format 2 carries downlink scheduling for user equipments configured in closed loop spatial multiplexing, and format 2A carries downlink scheduling for user equipments configured in open loop spatial multiplexing. And it also carries information about modulation and coding schemes used in the channel. The format 3 and 3A, okay, basically carries information about transmit power control commands for the uplink. We say it is a TPC commands. Okay, so this is in brief what I just doing a summary. Actually, all these formats, I think I have discussed while discussing about resource allocation. Some I have skipped also. I think you can have a look back about those slides. Okay. So is it clear? See, LTE has 10 DCI formats. Okay, LTE has 10 downlink control information formats, starting from format 0, format 1, 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, 2 and 2A, and 3 and 3A. So format 0 and format 3 and 3A are used for uplink, this one. Okay, uplink scheduling assignment and as well as to transmit power control commands in the uplink. But rest of the formats 1, 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, 2 and 2A are used for downlink scheduling information, right? Downlink scheduling for one code word transmission without spatial multiplexing and with spatial multiplexing. So with this brief idea about what are the different types of DCI formats, let me say about channel encoding and modulation used for these channels. Okay, for every channel, this process will be done. Okay, so this downlink control information, I said, is mapped to the physical downlink control channel. There is the physical channel, and multiple physical downlink control channels can be transmitted in a subframe. Right? Because I said that this will occupy first few OFDM symbols in each subframe. Right? So I can have multiple PD, CCH, and here the CRC used is 16-bit CRC. Okay, a 16-bit CRC is attached to the control information symbols. Right. So for a transport block, 24-bit CRC is used, but for this 16-bit CRC is used, and this CRC parity bits, okay, are scrambled according to the rules set by them. So these are the two rules set for scrambling the CRC parity bits. First one is, if the user equipment transmit antenna selection, if the user equipment transmit antenna selection is not configured or it is not applicable, okay, then the CRC parity bits are scrambled with one radio network temporary identifier. So we call that as RNTI. Okay, so which is the user equipment identity. Okay, then the user equipment is able to detect its own downlink control information, DCI file. So what I said, if user equipment transmit antenna selection is not configured or if it is not applicable, then the CRC parity bits are scrambled with one RNTI. So RNTI is nothing but what? Radio network temporary identifier, and this is the user equipment identity. Okay, so with that the user equipment is able to detect its own DCI. Second is, if user equipment transmit antenna selection is configured and it is applicable, then the CRC parity bits of physical downlink control channel with the DCI format 0. Okay, I said the format 0 and all, right, are scrambled with the corresponding radio network temporary identifier and the antenna selection mask. I will tell what are the different types of antenna selection masks used in this LTE. Okay, so that will inform the user equipment about the selected antenna port. Even I told in the previous class about different antenna ports, right? It supports 4 ports: antenna port 0, 1, 2, and 3, right? So this is what the user equipment transmit antenna selection mask, okay? And which is of 16-bit, okay, antenna selection mask. So user equipment transmit antenna selection. So it will select port 0. User equipment will select port 0. To select port 0, this is the mask, antenna selection mask. It's 16 bits of 0. And it will select port 1. Means user equipment will select port 1 when the antenna selection mask is this one. Means 15 zeros and last bit is 1. So this is the antenna selection mask. This will be used for scrambling the parity bits of the CRC, right, to select the antenna port. And the type of channel coding scheme used is tail biting convolutional code with the rate 1/3. And this also I discussed what is tail biting convolutional encoder, right? So it's very simple. It is as good as in OFDM, how do we do the cyclic prefix, right? We take the tail bits and add at the beginning. In the same way here, in the block, the tail bits are added at the beginning. So with that, we will be able to do that coding. And the type of modulation scheme used is here QPSK. Okay, for this particular channel, to carry the DCI control information, the modulation scheme used is QPSK, and channel coding scheme used is that one, tail bit convolutional code with rate 1/3, right? So as we already said, what is the further process? So after channel coding, the cell specific scrambling is used, and the PDCCH will be transmitted on the same set of antenna ports as that of PBCH. Right? So PBCH is the physical broadcast channel. So let me come back to that in the coming slides, what that broadcast channel and all. Okay, so as I said, the physical downlink control channel is located in the first n OFDM symbols of each subframe, right? And I said the value of n can vary from 1 to 4. So that is what is written here. Okay, so why this is required? Okay, so the use of first few OFDM symbols makes or helps to support micro sleep. Okay, that will save the user equipment battery life. Okay, and it also reduces the buffering and latency delay. Okay. Means user equipment can go to sleep if it sees no assignment. That's what the purpose of using first few OFDM symbols of each subframe for the physical downlink control channel. Just to give an idea, as I said, here I have shown this is the first OFDM symbol, second OFDM symbol, third OFDM symbol. Okay? So that will be occupied by PDCCH. And every subframe, first OFDM symbol will be occupied by the physical control format indicator channel, right? PCFICH I said. So that is what that is also shown here. So in one physical resource block, in the first subframe, first slot, okay, first symbol will be used for PCFICH, right? And I said the rest of the symbols are used for physical downlink shared channel. So that is what is written here. Yes, I think already I shared this in the previous resource allocation topic. And just to say, means how these are grouped into resource element groups. Okay, the control channel elements will be grouped into resource element groups, and how many resource element groups will be supported for each channel element, CCE, and how many bits, that also discussed. Just I will give this idea. That is the PDCCH format, right? So it has really 4 formats. It's a physical downlink control channel format 0, the PDCCH format 0, and the number of control channel elements, number of CCs used is 1 in the PDCCH format 0, and they are grouped into 9 resource element groups. 9 resource element groups. So we know what is resource element, right? So one OFDM symbol in the time domain, right? And one subcarrier frequency in the frequency domain is the resource element, right? So like that, 4 resource elements will be grouped into 9 resource element groups. So 9 into 4 is 36. and each resource element will be with QPSK symbol. So QPSK uses 2 bits, right? So 36 into 2, I will get 72. So that is what the PDCCH bits are, 72 bits. So like that, if I use the PDCCH format 1, the number of control channel elements will be 2. Okay, so with that, the number of resource element groups will be 18. So 18 into 2, 36. 18, right? So if I multiply this by 8, I will get this number, 144 bits. Okay. So like that, for other formats, so different number of control channel elements will be there, and a different number of resource element groups will be there, and how many bits is required to convey that information. Okay, so for PDCCH format 2, the number of control channel elements are 4. Okay, and the number of resource element groups will be 36. Okay, so 36 into 2 into again 2. If I do that, will be getting 288. Right. So PDCCH format, PDCCH format 3. For that, the number of control channel elements are 8, and the resource element groups are 72. Yes. So that into 8, if I do, I will get this 576 bits. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that is all about PDCCH. Okay. So next one is the control format indicator. So as I said, the control format indicator will indicate how many OFDM symbols, okay, the downlink control information spans in the subframe. Okay, so it will indicate that. So why that indication is required? Because the load on the PDCCH varies. That depends on the number of resource blocks and the signaling format conveyed on the PDCCH. Okay, so the CFI takes the value of 1, 2, or 3. Okay, this control format indicator can be equal to 1, 2, or 3. Okay. So we decide whether the CFI is 1, 2, or 3. That depends on the system bandwidth. So here I have written a number of resource blocks in the downlink. Okay, if it is greater than 10, then the downlink control information spans, okay, 1, 2, or 3 OFDM symbols. It spans in the 1, 2, or 3 OFDM symbols that will be given by the value of CFI, that is control format indicator. Okay. If the system bandwidth, means the number of resource blocks in the downlink, is less than or equal to 10, then the downlink control information spans 2, 3, or 4 OFDM symbols. So that will be given by the control format indicator plus 1. Okay. Means earlier case it is 1, 2, 3. Here it is now 2, 3, 4. CFI plus 1. So what type of channel coding the CFI uses, and what is the type of modulation uses and all? So to say, this CFI uses block code predefined based on 3,2 simplex coding with repetition of coding rate 1/16. Okay, CFI uses the simplex coding with repetition of coding rate of what? 1/16. Okay, for 1 bit I get 16 bits as output. Okay? And the type of modulation scheme used is here also QPSK. Even in the previous case, that is in PDCCH, the type of modulation used is QPSK, right? And in addition to that, here it uses cell specific scrambling. Okay, that will be tied to the cell identity. And as I said, the CFI is mapped to the physical control format indicator physical channel. So that will be carried on a specific resource element in the first OFDM symbol of the subframe. Okay. So the physical control format indicator channel is transmitted when the number of OFDM symbols for physical downlink control channel is greater than 0. Okay. I think I can say this is all about CFI. Yeah, so why CFI? So CFI indicates of how many OFDM symbols the DCA spans in the subframe. And this is what the CFI code word is. So it is 32 bits. Okay, as I said, the CFI has 3 values, 1, 2, 3, and fourth one is the reserved. And this is a 32-bit code word, right? So for first one, CFI, when it is equal to 1, the 32-bit code word is 011 like that, 011 up to 32 bits. And when CFI is equal to 2, the 32-bit code word is 1011. Okay, 1, then 011, 011, 011, and so on. So the difference between first one and second one is, in this case, first bit is 0. In this case, first bit is 1. Then rest all same. Okay, the last bit here it was 1, and here it is 0. Okay. And when CFI, that is control format indicator, is 3, then this is a code word. That is 11, 011, 011, 011, and so on up to 32 bits. And as I said, CF is equal to 4, which is reserved for some special this one, and all the 32 bits will be 0. So this is what the code word which I use for CFI. The last one means last control information is about what? Hybrid ARQ indicator, right? HI. So this control information is carried over the physical hybrid ARQ control channel, right? So this control information HI is for what? Hybrid ARQ acknowledgement in response to uplink transmission. Okay, and it requires only one information bit for hybrid ARQ acknowledgement. Okay, so here the value of HI will be equal to 1 for positive acknowledgement, and HI will be equal to 0 for negative acknowledgement. Okay, here the type of model, coding used is repetition code with rate 1/3 is used, and this has 2 code words. One is 000 and another is 111. So these are the 2 code words used for indicating this H-ARQ. And type of modulation used is BPSK. So this is what the difference between CFI and DCI. Okay, there the type of modulation used was QPSK. Here the type of modulation used is BPSK. Okay. As I said, the repetition code with rate 1/3 is used, and it has 2 code words. One is 000 and another is 111. Right. So this repetition code is able to provide frequency diversity by mapping different code bits to different resource elements. And as I said, this hybrid ARQ indicator is mapped onto the physical hybrid ARQ channel. There's a physical channel. So here also we can have multiple physical hybrid ARQ indicator channels mapped to the same set of resource elements that will be called as PHICH group. Okay, and the PHICHs means physical hybrid ARQ indicator channels within the same group are separated through different orthogonal sequences with a spreading factor of 4. So how do we identify that? So PHICH is identified by the index pair n group comma n sequence. So this n group is the PHICH group number, and n sequence is the orthogonal sequence index within the group. Orthogonal sequence index within the group. And in addition to that, it uses the cell-specific scrambling. Okay, so this is all about three different control information and how that will be mapped onto 3 different physical channels. So what type of coding is used, channel coding, and what type of modulation is used, and which waveform symbol will be occupied by which channel. Okay, so that is what we have discussed. So this is all about that. And We go to the next topic, that is broadcast channels. Okay, as I said, these broadcast channels are used to carry system information like downlink system bandwidth, antenna configuration, then reference signal power. Okay, so user equipment will use this system information once it synchronizes. Because this system information is very large, that will be divided into two types, okay, or two fields, what I can say. One is the master information block, that is MIB, I say, that is transmitted on the physical broadcast channel. And another field is system information block, that is SIB, so which is transmitted on the physical downlink shared channel. Okay. So this PBCH carries basic system parameters which are necessary to demodulate the physical downlink shared channel that contains the remaining system information blocks. Okay. So the transmission of physical broadcast channel is characterized by fixed predetermined transport format and the resource allocation. So here the type of error detection, again it is of 16-bit CRC, then that CRC parity bits are scrambled according to the ENB transmit antenna configuration. So this is the scrambling sequence used for PBCH. Okay. So this will indicate the number of transmit antenna ports at E node B, right, 1, 2, 4, and this is a scrambling sequence. So here I said it is a 16-bit. So for antenna, transmit antenna port at ENB 1, all 16 bits 0. For 2, all 16 bits 1. For port 4, it is alternate 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1 like that. So this is a 16-bit scrambling sequence used in PBCH. This one, okay. And type of coding used is again tail biting convolution code with rate 1/3, and the coded bits are then rate matched to 1920 bits, okay, for the normal CP, and 1728 bits for the extended CP. And here the type of modulation scheme used is QPSK, okay, and it does not support hybrid ARQ. Right? As I said, it does not support hybrid ARQ. For MIMO modes, this PBCH supports single antenna transmission and open loop transmit diversity. Okay. So due to lack of channel quality feedback, dynamic adaptation modulation and coding is not possible. So the complex valued modulation symbols are mapped onto 72 subcarriers centered around the DC subcarrier in slot 1 in subframe 0. So during 4 consecutive radio frames, so that is the transmission time interval for PBCH is 40 milliseconds. Okay. So 4 consecutive radio frames, subframe 0, slot 1, in that this will be mapped. So resource mapping of PBCH is independent of system bandwidth and duplex mode. So with that, user equipment can detect and decode the PBCH without any prior knowledge of the system bandwidth and the duplex mode. So with that, once the PBCH is detected and the MIB is decoded, so user equipment can extract the system bandwidth and the duplex mode. And this is how means this is the PBCH processing we say. Okay? Physical broadcast channel processing. First, what happens? Logical channel is a BCCH, right? So master information block, then transport channel will have BCH. So all go through the process: transport block, CRC attachment, channel coding, rate matching. Then this is PBCH. Sorry. Then scrambling will be done, modulation, layer map coding, and mapping to the resource element. See, as I said, so this pink color indicates secondary synchronization signal, and next one indicates primary synchronization signal. The next 4 blocks, okay, they are the PBCH, okay, that is physical broadcast channel. So as I said, here there are 72 subcarriers, the DC null, right? So 4 such PBCH